School March Madness, the Peoria Emmanuel Rams play Chicago Diet in the 2A State Final Four on Thursday. The Rams will head to Champaign tomorrow under the leadership of Coach Marvin Jordan. It'll be a family trip, or as the Emmanuel Rams say, a Ramily trip. Peoria Emmanuel Junior star Josh Humbles knows all about Ramily. He was a Emmanuel Rams ball boy for years, and he now follows in his brother's footsteps as a state finals Peoria Emmanuel Ram.
So first brother I went to was Cleonte. Deontay went with Cleonte there. Breonte went to 2019, but it got cut, unfortunately, due to COVID. And it's just fun to be a part of that group with them.
Yeah, you dig far enough back into some of those videos and pictures, you see Josh as a ball boy. So very small, and it's like, you know, it becomes a part of you. Like a lot of kids have come through this program, started out ball boys, you know, and that just speaks about the family, you know, that we have here.
You can see the Peoria Emmanuel Chicago Diet game Thursday afternoon at 3:45. on Heart of Illinois ABC. In Class 1A, Peoria Christian battles Eastland Thursday morning in Champaign. The Chargers took a field trip today, or a court trip, to practice on the Bradley Braves Renaissance Coliseum court. The Chargers are a small school, but they will be ready for a Big Ten arena on Thursday.
We played at Western, you know, for 4 games. We played over at Eureka, which is a bigger court, but not a big, you know, huge gym. But I think our guys, the bigger the gym, the bigger the moment, the happier they are.
Peoria Christian senior standout Gavin Walder has had a March to remember and a matched dad. 40 years ago, March 1985, the Hoopston Corn Jerkers made it to the state Final Four. That was Thad Mata's team. Gavin's dad, Joe, was a standout of that Hoopston team as well. Now 40 years later, like father, like son for this March Madness loving family.
Yeah, it's super cool, man. He talks about it all the time, how fun of an experience it was, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So I'm super grateful to get the same opportunity that he did. And we're huge Illinois fans as well. He went to college there too, so it's super fun to get to play on that court. I've been a diehard Illinois fan my whole life. So.
You can see the Peoria Christian versus Eastland game Thursday morning on Heart of Illinois ABC. That's an 11:15 tip time in Champaign. The Peoria Christian Chargers run to the basketball state finals is not limited or run to the state finals is not limited to basketball. The Persinger family is thrilled to be juggling 2 sports and state final trips after a truly super Monday. Peoria Christian's state finals bound celebration last night was special for the whole team, but especially for 4 years starting guard Malachi Persinger and his dad, Chargers head coach Jason Persinger.
We had a brief embrace, you know, with Malachi and then with all the other guys as well. I think it's definitely different than if I would have been in the crowd, but it's been an honor to be able to spend so much time, a blessing to be able to spend so much time together on the journey.
Yeah, it's been great. You know, that special moment was special for sure. And yeah, it definitely would be different if he was in the crowd, but you know, it probably helps us both stay more calm that we're both on the court for sure. So.
The Persingers' March Madness memory of a lifetime was missing some important family members. You see, last night was also state finals clinching night in junior high volleyball. Peoria Christian Volleyball is also going to the state finals thanks to a Persinger mother-daughter combo of coach and player.
It's very special because, I mean, she's my mom, and also, like, I've never had her coach me before, and yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was a great night, just incredible. The girls just worked so hard. We were so excited to win that game, and we're just ecstatic to go on to the state tournament.
Obviously, both Peoria Christian teams celebrated a trip to the state finals yesterday, but for the Persingers, the celebration became even bigger when they found out the result of the other game, and that it was a Persinger and Peoria Christian sweep.
As soon as the buzzer went off, Coach Hennick grabbed me and let me know that my wife and daughter had won and they were going to state as well. And so a really emotional moment in that, to think that all that was happening, and it's just been a huge blessing.
Right after the game, some of our basketball fans, they were just coming up to me with the scores, and I was like, oh, thank God. I was so happy. So it was such a great night.
The Persinger boys will be busy hooping at the state finals Thursday. The girls start volleyball state finals Friday. They both hope to be winning and very busy on state championship Saturday. Love that story. Now, I'm going to wish both Peoria Christian teams good luck, but there is a chance in the state finals round 2, Peoria Christian Volleyball will play Midwest Central Volleyball, coached by my wife. And I'm cheering for my wife's team. So no good luck for you in that one, but good luck to the Chargers. Jim Dandy.